George Bruno with the 21 Report. We're at the 21 convention, the Patriarch edition, and I'm talking with the CEO and founder and strategic allied command. What do you call it?
Supreme Allied Commander of the Gender War.
And that fits. Well, welcome.
Yes, sir. Glad to be back. Huge fan of the show.
Post-game show now.
Yep.
We said goodbye to most of the attendees. Some of the speakers are still around. Things are wrapping up now. What are your thoughts of how it went? Our first Patriarch convention.
That's right. And first of 3 events in 2019.
Yes.
It's actually the first year we're doing 3 events since 2012. The only other year we did 3 events. My thoughts are it's been incredible. I was talking to Jack Murphy last night, me, him, a few of my guys, and his girl, Redhead, and we're in the hot tub just hanging out. And I was like, holy shit. We just pulled off this event, and tickets went on sale 90 days ago, something like that, almost 3 months ago, exactly, maybe 91 or something. Mm-hmm. And we pulled it off. We got 100 fathers, 100 proud patriarchs, got a full speaking roster, full 3-day event. We had huge speakers, Elliot Hulse. We had some press guys, media there. There was Cernovich, guy from the American Spectator. Stefan Molyneux even popped up. He was in Orlando with his kids or something. Yeah. You interviewed him on the report.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it at the dinner. We had the Heroes Dinner with everybody on Saturday night, and there was a combined total in the hotel and in the room, like 3.5 million YouTube subscribers we had access to.
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit.
Yeah. The reach was huge.
Yeah. And Elliot, for example, is excited to publish all these videos, on behalf of just being with us.
Incredible.
So it's pretty wild. I'm so happy to do it, and honored I could have the privilege, honored that Hunter Drew gave me even the idea for it, for the specific style of the conference, and then put my talents to work and pulled it off.
A lot of times, firsts are like rolling the dice. You never know how a first thing is going to come off, and you pulled it off as if you've been doing this for 10 years. A Patriarch conference for 10 years. It went so well. It was tight.
Thank you.
Your production team, amazing.
Speak for yourself here.
Amazing.
He's part of it, yeah. Oh, yeah.
All the volunteers, all the staff. It was, Tony B called it fine-tuned machinery. Mm-hmm. It just worked out well. What was the highlight of the convention for you?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know if there was one. I'll have to think about it. It's still so fresh. It's Monday morning. We're just after the conference here.
Yeah.
It's all a blur. That's why it's hard to pick one, because it's like, to me, it's all one thing.
Yeah.
I barely get sleep usually.
Yeah.
I actually got pretty good sleep at this event. I got 4 or 5 hours a night. It's a lot more. That's more than usual.
Yeah.
I run as low as 1 or 2 or 0 even sometimes.
Yeah.
That's been a long time since that kind of stuff. But to me, it's all continuous experience.
Yeah.
Even going to sleep, the purpose of that is to wake up and kick more ass.
Yeah.
So I try to get to bed as fast as I can, wake up as fast as I can, go. So for me, it's a continuous, comprehensive event, and I'm so proud of all of it. The Redmond group, I would say, was particularly beautiful. We had a new background Rollo made for us. We had such a great lineup of speakers. We had 3 guys. What's pretty interesting, I'll say, is Elliot and his dad doing a joint thing like that.
Yeah.
That started out as kind of like a joke. I met his dad at his 40th birthday party a few weeks ago. And I told him, hey, your son's giving this is his dad, your son's giving a talk on fatherhood at our event, my event. And he's like, oh, I should give a talk. And I'm like, yeah, you should. And I didn't know if he was serious or not. I should have known better, given it's Elliot Hulse's dad.
Right.
So we worked it out as we discussed on stage, and they gave it. And that was pretty special. I've never had a speaker's father speak at the conference alongside his son. And his son is also a celebrated speaker, who's huge and brand new to the event, loves what we do. So that was pretty interesting in itself. But all the speakers did fantastic, and I was very happy with it.
Elliot was a great addition.
I agree. I was very skeptical, actually. I was not like a lot of our fans were fans of him. I wasn't. Yeah. I didn't know much about him. I knew who he was, obviously. Yeah. And there was a lot of cross fans over the years that wanted me to get him to speak. I just didn't care. Yeah. I didn't understand. I didn't look deep enough into it. That was my own ignorance.
Yeah.
And I don't say I regret that, because things played out, I think, extremely well.
Yeah.
And that's what matters to me. Those choices led me to where I am today, and Elliot to be at this conference. So it's fun.
The timing was amazing, because when I asked him about it, he says that this came along at the right time in his life.
Exactly. And that's why I don't, people say they have regrets about stuff, and One of my favorite authors, he's dead now, he died a couple years ago, Dr. Nathaniel Branden. He had a saying in one of his books that stuck with me, and it said, the choices that you made in your past, even the mistakes, that led you to be who you are today. And that's why, Elliot being here, exactly, it's the right time, and it worked out super, super well.
Yeah.
Had he spoken earlier at a regular 21 convention, the main event, maybe it would have been great, or maybe not would have been as good as it is here. So I think it worked out perfect as an introduction. It really fit what he cares about, what he values. He's also more than happy to speak now. He's excited to speak at the main event, as well as 22 convention he signed on for. He was skeptical of that, and now he's just all gung-ho about it. He's going to bring his wife, his daughters, everybody.
Wonderful. I was amazed at how many men came. Now, it's a patriarch convention for fathers, primarily, and those that will be fathers someday. I was surprised at how many men attended here who don't have children.
Yeah.
It's almost like they're getting pre-parenting, pre-father training.
I'm one of them. We call them aspiring fathers is what we call them.
Yes.
Aspiring patriarchs, technically.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to be a father someday. I think they lose sight of that. People think I'm like Goldman, all these guys. I don't know if Goldman wants to have children or not. Independent of that, though, I'm just a young guy. I'm horny. I like women, hot women in particular. So I want to have sex with them. Yeah. At the same time, I want to build a family.
Yeah.
And that's like really my primary goal and value in terms of interacting in the sexual marketplace.
Yeah.
I'm also the impatient, waiting, watching my values skyrocket, learning all these things about the red pill, picking up women, improving my social skills, sexual skills and stuff. So yeah, it's people don't realize that about me, I think, and that's why this convention really spoke to me.
Yeah.
Even though I'm not a father, I was very proud to do it, very happy to do it.
Yeah.
And learn myself. I can't wait to watch the videos. As you know, I only see like maybe 5-10 minutes of each talk.
Right.
But I get all the videos, obviously. I get first access if I want, so first in the world.
Wow.
So I'm excited to learn and excited to do it again. We'll probably do it in about 18 months, 24 months. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the guys loved it, so it was pretty awesome.
I noticed an air of hope, positivity, optimism, and that seems to have been a theme from one speaker to the next of how positive everyone has been. And they felt good about this pivot that we did towards patriarchy, fatherhood. Yeah. And it's not a scary thing. You talk to the average nihilistic schmuck out there, oh, parenting is scary. Our guys are psyched about being fathers. Positive, they can't wait.
Yeah, they're pumped, yeah. Yeah, it reminds me too, you mentioned just that little comment there, and also that the reporter we had here, one of them, he called it feminist paranoia. And there's a complete lack of that in these men. They're not, there's not the fear and they're scary. They're not paranoid about becoming a parent. Mm-hmm. These guys they're not even dads yet, and they're excited to become a father. Like, how do I do this someday? Yeah. Especially in the modern sexual environment, the sexual marketplace, that I think they're becoming a father and building a family is just a shit show. Yeah. You can still do it, but it's not exactly fertile ground to do it in the West and in America. It's become very anti-family. Patriarchy is this ultimate boogeyman that's been hated and shit on for 100 years now.
Right.
So we're building it. We're building a new patriarchy. Of course, we're rebuilding it. Step one, complete.
I'll ask you what I asked everybody, and I'll preface it with this statement, that when you talk to a lot of people in the world today about starting a family, they say, oh, I would never want to bring a child into this world the way the world is. Mm-hmm. It's dark, it's gloom and doom, it's filled with despair, which is why I was excited to see the hope and positivity coming out of everybody, including everyone here at the 21 Report. How would you respond to the person who says, I wouldn't want to bring a child into this world?
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I saw you ask AJ that in the last report. My immediate first thought that popped in my head is, and I understand, and you're not saying it, but the people who say that is the absolute dumbest bullshit I've ever heard. If you live in America or first world country right now, it's unbelievably stupid. Like AJ was talking about, take a real bird's eye view of the world and history you live in. You live in the most comfortable, safe, secure environment in fucking history. The idea that I don't want to bring a child, it's just dumb. It's dumb beyond dumb, beyond dumb, beyond dumb. It's worse than that. It's arrogant. It's disgusting. Like, to actually think, you've been brainwashed. If you think that and you live in this country and you're somewhere in the middle class or anywhere even near that, it's fucking delusional. AJ was talking about living in the dark ages. Yeah. People still had children and built families even then. Mm-hmm. And what we live in now is like absolute luxury. we live better than most kings and queens have throughout for thousands of years. And that, you're so fucking privileged and too problem that you can't even have a child. It's really disgusting. So
yeah,
I don't like it at all. I hate it. It's stupid. It's nonsense. It has nothing to do with the real world.
And we're changing that.
Damn right.
We're changing that reality, that nihilism, that gloom and doom, that despair.
It's all just nonsense in these people's heads that feminists and these SJWs and these losers have put in their head. It's real propaganda that's really sick, and it's going to make you miserable. Especially women who have a much more limited fertility window. Men, if they think like that, we can make fun of them, I can call them stupid, but at least they can change their mind later.
Yeah.
Women, they hit the wall, they hit the 40 wall, or even 35, advanced maternity age, that's it.
Yeah.
It becomes dangerous.
High risk pregnancy at that point.
And then it becomes impossible soon after that. So those are the women. That's why 22 convention is really important to me. Like we have to, for Gen Z, I think we have to turn that around.
Yeah.
I think millennials were a lost generation for the women. The men were turning around with the manosphere, but the women, they're running out of time quick. But the Gen Z, I think we can turn that around.
You had made a statement early on that you said women want to make babies, but men want to make families.
That's right.
Talk about that.
That actually came from this guy right here, Andrew the Private Man. He was a speaker in 2016 at our convention, excluding Tanner, who was before him, but he was just focused on style, and we didn't really know he was Red Pill. This guy, Andrew the Private Man, was the first true Red Pill speaker we had at the conference. Unfortunately, he ended up being the first speaker to also die. He died of really rare eyeball cancer about a year later, not even actually, a couple months later. Something he said in his speech, I never forgot it. And what he meant, they can go to YouTube and follow, find his speech. Just type Andrew the Private Man 21 convention. I think he meant that, well, first of all, men and women are different. That's why when we think about, having a family, men aren't thinking necessarily about having babies. You're thinking about like the wife, the kids, maybe some pets, a home. You're thinking about the entire picture because you're responsible and you should have authority. Women don't think like that. They're not primed to think like that. They haven't evolved to think like that. They're thinking about nurturing and babies. And they're thinking about basically, we don't get into all the details, they're thinking about what they value. And that's men and women are different, including what we value. The same way Rolla says that men and women love differently. Why is that? Because we value differently, because we're biologically, fundamentally different. So I think it's a different thing, and that's actually very good though. If men and women both wanted to have babies or both wanted to build a family, I think, for example, build a family, that would mean two people trying to lead this, drive a car. There's only one steering wheel. You need someone to lead it.
Yeah.
And you also need someone to nurture the children and babies and be that emotionally involved with children like that.
Right.
Where dad is out in the world busting ass, kicking ass, taking names.
Yes.
So they're different, and it's a really good way to put it. I never forgot it. So he said it in the speech. They can go see it, and it's epic.
Yeah. What's next for the 21 organization in 2019? Tell us what's coming up next.
This party don't stop. It just keeps going. So we just got done with the Patriarch, the first ever Patriarch edition. It's literally the day after. The next event's going to be in Poland. It's our 4th event in Europe, our first one in Poland. Our previous events were in Sweden, Stockholm, Sweden, 2010, London, England, in 2011 and 2012. So we haven't been there in a while. I've been focusing on America since then, different stuff like that. All kinds of stuff. Bringing in the Red Pill, companies blowing up. It's been pretty wild. It's like riding a rocket ship, bare-assed, I call it.
Yeah.
So we're going to Poland. That'll be July 18th to the 21st. I was just there a few weeks ago with some of my production staff, director, COO. And I loved it. I can't wait to go back. I haven't felt that fundamentally, I don't know if happy is the right word, more like joyful.
Yeah.
Like I'm a really serious dude. I do all this funny shit with soap, right, and all that. But really I'm a serious guy. I take everything I do extremely fucking seriously.
Yes.
But being in Poland, I don't know if it lightened me up, because I'm still really serious even when I'm there, but it lightened up my emotional mood a little bit. More, not lighten it up. I don't know the word I'm looking for. But anyway, it felt really good being there. It felt healthy being there. It was a healthy culture where men were men, women were women. Men didn't want to be women. They weren't, chopping their dicks off, about this transgender shit.
Yeah.
Women wanted to be women. They're happy to be women. They're proud to be women. They're joyful. All the stuff AJ Cortez talked about in his little tweet that went viral.
Yeah.
They're graceful. They're sensual. They're feminine. They're sweet. They're submissive. It was amazing. It was I call it a Red Pill Candyland.
Yeah.
But really, it felt heavenly, is what it felt like.
We're going to have some new faces on stage there, aren't we?
Oh yeah, I'm excited. One of them will be Richard Grannon, as you know. He's a big YouTuber, a good friend of mine. He's big on YouTube, about 130,000 subscribers, like your channel. He's the Spartan life coach. And he's focused on psychology, but particularly with helping men and women heal from toxic relationships, whether it's an intimate, sexual one, parent relationship, stuff like that. Many other speakers, Cobra Tate, Nick Krauser, list goes on and on.
Yeah.
Rollo's the keynote of that one too. So Hunter Drew is the keynote here. Rollo's the keynote of that one. I do have a keynote picked out for Orlando later this year, our main event, but I'm not going to announce that just yet, but soon.
Excellent.
Oh yeah, so after Poland in July, that's a summer event, of course. I'm going to go around Poland, just enjoy the countryside. I'll come back to America, come back to Florida, and prepare for the World event. The main event of the year, 2019, Orlando, Florida, October 24th to 27th. The main 21 convention of the year. Right, Poland's like that too, but it's like the European version.
Yeah.
The American one's going to be huge. Mike Cernovich was here covering the event as press over the weekend. He thinks we're going to have 500 guys. So does Pat Campbell, one of our speakers. I don't know if that's literally true, but the ticket sales so far suggest that is true. Or it's somewhere 400 or 500 guys or something crazy.
Yeah.
The most we ever had was last year at the main event. That was about 230.
Yeah.
So we're prepped for that. I got the room for it at the hotel nearby. I already picked out, signed for it.
Right.
So yeah, that's going to be fucking epic. That's 5 months from now. I get to prepare for that and batten down the hatches.
Yeah.
It's going to be awesome.
Is it too early to start talking about 2020?
Oh, hell no. Let's talk about it.
All right. What's going to happen in 2020?
What's going to happen is the 22 convention, Make Women Great Again. That's going to be almost exactly 1 year from now. So it'll be April 2020 or maybe May. It's May, 6th right now or something. So right about 1 year from now, we're going to put tickets onto this sale onto this event, probably June or August 2019. Women, I announced it, I think in December 2018, end of the year. And immediately women were hitting me up in Instagram and Twitter, DMs, trying to buy tickets.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, just chill, they're not on sale yet.
Yeah.
I just wanted to get it out there, get the VIP list going, the waiting list and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's going to be popping off, and that's exciting. That one, as big as our main events are, which are getting huge, and they're very controversial. I mean, we just did the patriarch convention, basically. This event for women, I think, is going to be probably the biggest thing we've ever done. Some speakers like Pat Campbell, I think, and maybe some others said that we might have 500 to 1,000 women at it.
Wow.
I really have no idea. I mean, we could have, I think we'll have minimum 100. So I think in my mind, it's going to be between 100 and 1,000 women. I really don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to find out.
Yeah.
It's going to be a 4-day convention. We're not going to do workshops at it like we're doing now for the main event, 21 conventions. But it'll be our first event for women, and it's going to be exclusively male speakers. Yourself, I'd like to speak. I'll be speaking there. Most of the guys, we'll basically pull from alumni, 21 convention speakers. And therefore, we're going to make it the mansplaining event of the century. All male speakers, the leadership, the masculine leadership that women need right now, that they're sorely lacking.
Nice.
I think women should mentor and lead younger women, but they're not going to do it at the scale and intensity and the speed that we need to get women out of the rut that they've gotten themselves into with feminism. I think feminism is a toxic hate and supremacist movement. It is, I think, evil, for example, but also disgusting and horrible and makes women miserable.
Yeah.
We need to stop it. We need to put an end to it.
It's not good for women. It's not good for children. It's not good for families.
Exactly. It's just it's horrible for everybody.
Yeah.
Women need help. They need good advice. They need positive media, which is the purpose of this event.
Right.
To help the attendees, but also to film it and get those videos viewed by millions of women, 18, 20, 30, 40, I don't care what age they are, and help millions of women become better and avoid, especially if they're young, avoid making choices that have permanent consequences. Hunter Drew and I were talking when he was here a few months ago about he might do a speech later this year, something along the lines of like, choices have consequences as a title. And that's true for men as it is for women, perhaps even more so for women. I think women are much more prone to trauma and damage and not recovering from it positively. I think femininity is much more about preserving femininity versus masculinity, and being a man, you have to build it. It's something you build over time as you age and grow and mature and succeed and fail. And women are not like that. They need to not get damaged. And that's, I think, a big part of what 22 will do. We'll teach women how to hopefully recover if they made mistakes, but ideally not make the mistake in the first place.
Right.
Which is what you see so much of now, such as like Socrates is famous for talking about the Tinder cock carousel that women ride throughout their 20s.
Yeah.
And then of course like Rollo talks about they hit the 30 wall and they try to hop off.
Yeah.
Well, real life's a little more complicated than that.
Right.
Choices have consequences.
Right.
And if you want to be happy, you got to respect that.
Anything else going on in 2020?
Yeah, we'll do at least one more 21 convention, of course, for that year. So we're going to do in 2020, we'll do 2 or 3 events, including 22Con. So we'll probably do, we got to see how big Poland is. It's looking pretty big right now. It's exceeded my expectations off the bat. Tickets have been on fire all throughout the Patriarch convention. They're just selling like crazy. So if that's big enough, and I think it will be, we'll do another Poland convention in 2020. And then also we'll do our main event of the year in Orlando once again at the end of the year. Orlando is becoming the staple essentially in America. Poland I think will keep as well year to year. And then the patriarch we'll do as often as we can.
Right.
And then we got to fit this in somehow too.
Right.
So
Excellent.
I'm a busy man. Yeah, I got 3 companies now, so it's getting pretty wild.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
Hold on, man.
You better get good at delegating.
Yeah. I'm looking at the guy right here.
Yeah.
I've been trying to make this show, awesome for years,
Yep.
and you've absolutely nailed it. I'm so proud of you.
Great. Thanks. Making fathers great again. Anthony Dream Johnson. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.